Welcome to Parapausal Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy, and I'm here with my co-host, Janet. We're just two old ladies talking about everything paranormal and horror. So if you're ready for some hot flashes and paranormal chills, join us. Welcome, everybody. Today's guest is Christy, and we are going to talk about a few urban legends and a little bit of folklore in and around our area. The first thing that I guess, do you want to talk about the spook light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, growing up as a kid, it was just a thing because while I lived in Missouri, like near Webb City, which has, a lot of its own stuff, I had family that lived near Miami, Oklahoma,
Okay.
which is near where the spook light is.
Mm-hmm.
And we would come down here, just because we wanted to go for a drive in the middle of the night, you can't sleep. Well, let's go for a drive, and we'd go to the spook light and watch spook light.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the time I was a little kid, and so I had seen it. I'd seen it at least 50 times, probably more than that.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky. Okay, now wait,
That's cool.
everybody, just so that you know, she actually lives by the spook light right now. Correct?
No, but until about 5 years ago, I did.
Oh,
I
okay.
lived like anywhere between 2 and 3 miles from it.
Oh, okay. I thought you lived there now. All right. So, okay.
Can we get a description of the spook light?
Yes. So it has been studied. It's a paranormal light, basically. That when I was a kid, it was on a dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
And it travels up and down this road, and it starts out as one ball of light, and it will divide up into 5 balls of light is the most I've seen.
Interesting.
Wow.
And they bounce all around the road and change colors, and they will come like these like orbs
Mm-hmm.
will come right up to you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Like we were sitting we used to have this little I think it was an S10 or an S15 Chevy pickup.
Mhm.
And it was like from the 80s. I don't know what year, but it's like an 80s model. And it would be right in front of the pickup, and we were in the cab.
Wow.
And it's not like a full-size pickup. It's like a small pickup.
Okay.
So I've seen it go over a car I was sitting in.
Wow.
But it's the legend that we were always told when I was a kid was that it was a Indian maiden and an Indian brave from 2 warring tribes, and they couldn't be together, and so basically they killed each other, or they ended up dead, so that they could live the afterlife together.
Oh,
But it's always one looking for the other one, and they say that's why it splits up, is because it has no direction as to where to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's several stories about what it is, but I remember that one the most is what I do remember about that legend is that that they went to meet up. He ended up dying in the war, and she has got her lantern, and she's been looking for him ever since.
Right.
So,
huh.
And then, another one that I heard a little bit was that it was when they were doing train tracks in the area, that it was
Yeah.
a conductor from a train that
Yeah.
he got ran over, and
yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
right?
that's the one I remember hearing about.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but it's been on Unsolved Mysteries. It's been on 2 or 3 different paranormal shows.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever effectively explained what it is.
Mhm.
They want to say, "Oh, it's swamp gases." Friend, swamp gases don't change color.
Right. Or split apart, or bounce
Yeah.
around, or interact.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and like it'll be coming at a straight line at you.
Mhm.
And then as soon as it gets to your vehicle or, within a certain proximity, we'll say 2 feet of you, it goes up and over.
Yeah.
If it was a
Interesting.
storm gas, it would just go through or go past,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
you
Or
know?
lightning wouldn't, because
Yeah.
that's the other one that I heard.
Yeah.
What was it?
Ball lightning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Come on, guy. Yeah, ball lightning just happens to. I think
Yeah.
the last paranormal show I was watching, because right now the road is paved. All right, so I'll set the scene. We used to go there to party, and I think kids probably still do, but so you go down this dirt out in the country and you turn on this dirt road. So when you turn onto the dirt road, because you can only come from it one way, it to be able to see the light properly, you're supposed to come in a certain way. So there's a dirt road, there was a fence over to your right, and then it was nothing but forest. And so I'd never seen the spook light because I couldn't tell if it was the high, because right down the road, when you're looking down the road, over to the right hand side, down a little ways, there was the highway.
Mhm.
That was there. So you kind of had to differentiate whether or not it was a car coming down the road or the highway. So as far
Mhm.
as I know, I'd never seen it. However, I did feel a lot of creepy stuff in the forest, and it wasn't just animals. So to the
Yeah.
side of you, if you're out there, even when it's just to you, I would get this creepy, horrible feeling that
Mm.
I would hear something in the woods, and in my mind's eye, it would flash that it was something that was not human or
Okay.
animal, like animals that we know of. And I would get scared, and I'd be like, "Okay, that's it. I'm sitting in the car."
Mhm.
We usually
Yeah.
sit up on the hood of our cars or lay there and wait for it to come. Me, I always ended up back in the car because I was scared. I was like, I don't know what's coming out of that forest.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Remind me to loop back to that about the things that aren't animals as we know it,
Right.
Okay.
because somebody that you and I know, Stacy, has experience with that,
Oh, okay.
but I don't want to put their name out on blast.
No,
You
don't
know,
just use their first letter of their name.
T.
Okay. That's who I figured you were talking about. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So T's been out there and
She was on the main highway, and
okay.
something landed on her truck.
What?
Oh, was it a rake or was that the alien?
Rake, I think.
Huh.
That is insane.
But the highway patrol said it was a bear.
Uh-huh. Was there a bunch of damage though? That's the question.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
So you need to talk to her about that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Oh well, yeah. Well, yeah, I was
Wow.
gonna see if she wanted to be on, but
Right.
like Janet was saying, our last podcast is that we kind of want to get everybody's experience that they've had out there. So you have seen it, you were lucky enough to see it like a lot. So that's cool. Me, never lucky enough to see it, but I do know that there's stuff out in the woods. But you were also talking about that lights in the sky.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the spook light thing, I have seen that since I was a little kid. Even after they paved the road and they built up some houses and they put up some fences,
Mhm.
you can still go out and see it. Not as frequently, and I think that has to do something with, the activity around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we lived, like I said, it was like 2 or 3 miles away from there.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved out to this property. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my son. And at the time, my son was like 5 or 6, had no knowledge of the property we were moving on to.
Mm-hmm.
We had only been there about a month, and my mom didn't allow smoking in the house. And so me and my dad were out on the front porch, enjoying the moonlight, watching the bats and listening to the owls like you do when you're in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, Dad, you see that?" And he looks up and he was like, "Huh." And it was just like one red dot in the sky. So I'm thinking it's like a helicopter or something, right?
Right.
But it went from there was nothing in the sky to then there's one red dot. And then a triangle of red dots appeared. And then another triangle of red dots appeared. And they just kind of moved, not necessarily in a pattern,
Wow.
But it literally happened almost every night the entire time we lived there.
Wow.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to say it was necessarily aliens, because we all know the government is capable of many things that we aren't aware of.
Yeah.
However, I think if it was the government, it wouldn't be on such a schedule.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the government would have tried to cover up. They would have said, "Oh, that was whenever we called into like the airport and said, was there anything flying in this space at this time?" They're like, "Yeah, we show nothing."
Right.
Just like,
Interesting.
"Yeah, what'd you see?"
I'm not
if
telling
it
you.
was the government, if it was the government, they'd be like, "Oh, it was a weather balloon."
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was just something weird with the electromagnetic fields out there.
Yeah.
Like all of the bats, they're supposed to be really great at echolocation, right?
Mhm.
Not the bats out there. They would run into the telephone poles, run into the light poles, run into the house. Like
That's
literally,
very
fly
odd.
into the side of the house.
Aw,
Wow.
babies.
Right?
I felt so bad for it. And our dog, she was a really great dog. And she would, for no reason, and we would always go out and check on her. She
Right.
never wanted to be in the house, ever. Like when before we moved there, she was a house dog. She only went out to go to the bathroom.
Right.
When we moved out there, she would do anything she could to not be in the house.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And, it was just something with the electromagnetic fields is what I thought.
Mhm.
And my son, who had always had no problem, like going to bed, sleeping by himself, anything like that, going to the bathroom by himself, had never had a problem. Well, when we moved into this house, his bedroom was at the end of a longish hallway.
Mhm.
And the bathroom that he and I shared was between our bedrooms.
Okay.
And it got to the point that he would not sleep in his room unless I walked back and just like either slept on the floor next to the bed or sat next to his bed until he fell asleep.
Oh.
He would not go to the bathroom by himself. And he wouldn't take a bath by himself, like nothing. And I was sitting in there and I was like, "Buddy, what's going on?" Like you do, because you're a caring mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, "That old man freaks me out, Mom."
Figured that one.
And I'm like, "But this was a new house."
Doesn't matter.
And that, yeah, it was. And I don't think that it was like a haunting, because then I would start noticing things and it always happened at the same times. Every night.
Okay.
And so I feel like it was like kind of like for lack of a better way to explain it, like the area had recorded an event
Right. That's what I was thinking.
and it was just
Residual.
playing back. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was in a loop and it happened and that's the way it
Right.
was,
Hmm.
you know.
Mhm.
But it was just weird.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff around that area because that is so weird. It's kind of like the mystery spot in California or a lot of the other places
Yeah.
around that has got there's just so much weirdness that goes on around there. So,
Mhm.
Yeah. And if it would have just been me that had seen it,
yeah.
I would have, the lights and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
In the sky. I'd be like, I'm a little weird. I draw a certain energy, so maybe not everybody's seeing it. But it was the 4th of
Right.
July and it was on like 5 acres.
Mhm.
And we had probably 15, 20 people out at our house for 4th of July. And we were
Oh,
all getting ready to shoot fireworks off around 9, 10 o'clock at night. Now, probably closer to 10, 11.
right.
And everybody that was outside was like, that's weird.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't mention it to
No, they
anybody.
saw it.
Yeah. They were like, hey, you guys see that? And yeah, I'm like, it's a nightly event, folks. Come
Right.
back to the show.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it would go anywhere from, sometimes we would only see like 3 or 4
Mhm.
groups to one night there was like 50.
Oh
And
wow.
then,
Wow.
yeah, and I called, and apparently we weren't the only ones that called the airport because they said that they had multiple calls in the last hour, and not just like in our area, but even on the other side of the highway and up into Kansas.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
Wow. That's
that was a
crazy.
very active night, but that wasn't the norm.
The Celestial Highway.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
could be. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, there was a
Makes
lot
me
of
want to go
horror.
out there and just chill, and see if there's
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
okay, because there are deep quartz deposits there. There's
Uh-huh.
running water.
Uh-huh.
That is like a natural spring or whatever.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And we had quite literally the property that we lived on came in like a V at the back
Hmm.
and had exposed quartz on either side of it. So
Wow.
how were we not going to have something happening there? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
All right.
Curious about if there was ley lines there too.
Yeah,
There
there
may
could
have
be.
been.
We do have fault lines and things like that around our areas. So Lori actually asked us to ask you, have you heard anything about a bridge that is close by there? Supposed to be really creepy,
Oh,
really weird.
Little People Bridge.
The what?
It's called Little People Bridge. Do not mess with it.
Okay. What I haven't ever heard of it. So what's the deal with that?
Hmm.
There's a demon. I'm gonna flat out call it as it is. It is a demon. It is. They've actually closed the road off and demolished on like either end. Okay, so to give back to the spook light,
Okay.
if you follow the road of that the spook light's on,
Okay.
when you get to as you exit the end, you can either go off to the right, and it'll
Okay.
take you to a cemetery,
Ooh.
an Indian
Cool.
cemetery,
Ooh, even better.
Heck yeah.
which
I want
again,
to go.
I won't go. No, I will not go there.
All right.
I
It
would.
is. It is not good juju.
Well, you know
I had
me, I like everything, so the
there you
scarier
go.
the better.
Um, and yeah, okay. So if you go to the right, you go down the well again, and it's paved now. Um,
Okay.
Anyway, and it's an Indian cemetery. It's a family of in actually.
Okay.
If you go to the left and you go about a mile to anywhere from a half mile to a mile,
All
you come
right.
up to the highway.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what the highway number is. Okay, you follow that highway into Quapaw,
Okay.
and it goes it's like a 2-lane highway type thing.
Mhm.
And just before it gets to what they call the Devil's Promenade, there used to be a road that went off to the left, and you went over Little People's Bridge.
Okay.
And there are pentagrams down there. There are somebody opened a thing at some point. They thought they were playing around, doing teenage angsty stuff, and they opened a door that they couldn't close.
Oh, shoot. That's
People
not
have
good.
died there,
Oh, no.
is what I have heard.
Okay. So, do you know
I
why they call it Little People's Bridge to begin with?
Because you hear kids. It starts out with an auditory thing of you're hearing kids laughing,
Okay.
but it's not little kids. People have come back with scratches. Um, I I went down there like I was gonna walk down there once they closed the road. It
Okay.
was me and my dad because my mom, total Bible thumper. There is no way she's getting in on any of that.
Mm-mm.
But my dad's like, sure, let's go.
Awesome.
Right. And so it was me and my dad and his sister, and we pulled off the side of the road and we were gonna walk down there.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't make it 50 feet.
Okay.
And it was like the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and it's just like a don't go there. You should not be here. Leave now.
Wow.
And having lived with what I lived through, and you know what my mom was like.
Yeah.
Whenever you feel something like that, you're like, bye bye.
Yeah.
you know. Um, and I don't know why they call it the Devil's Promenade. That's never been explained to me. But all it is a really, really high rock cliff over a creek.
Huh.
But it's right at the Quapaw Tribe campground.
Hmm.
And okay, so my understanding of American Indian, um, for one, their burial grounds are sacred to them.
Yes.
You
Mhm.
don't want to mess with that
No.
because they will chase you off. That
Right.
will give you that you are not welcome here
Yeah.
Right.
unless you are coming to pay respect.
Mhm.
And you better have some items with you as gifts for them spirits.
Right. Mhm.
Okay.
Right. And it's
Tobacco's good. Sage, anything
yeah,
that is sacred to them.
Right.
Tobacco is a really good one. Okay.
right. And
Um,
we went in with all due respect.
Right.
right,
We weren't going to be disrespectful. We were just, I want, what's this about type of thing.
right, right.
Um, but and it's not on the campgrounds, but it's very close to the campgrounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, I was going to ask, I was like, because we have several reservations that are around, Janet, that you're not allowed to go on to.
Right.
So I was going to ask if it was on the reservation or can you actually get to it?
There was a sleepover we had at your house with the four. I'm going to say the four of us, and you're going to know who I'm talking about. The other two,
Yeah.
and that was my first experience into what I'm going to call the spirit world proper. that one night, and it affected me deeply. I'm just gonna say that. No, in a good way.
Mhm. That's the way it works.
He gets traumatized when they came to my house.
I mean, well, okay, well, that one
Or
part it
opened.
did scare me, but overall, it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
and
opened you
that's
up too.
Do what, honey?
well,
I
I
said
think
it probably opened her up.
I think by nature, and Stacy, you can maybe say more about this. I feel like I was like open to stuff that I didn't
Mhm.
know I was open to. If that made like I was,
Yep.
things just happened that
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going. I didn't know anything.
Hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Well,
And we had that discussion on my interview with you, Stacy.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, folks, look forward to that because honestly, we're going back into this. So I really I love the fact that when paranormal people come together or psychics, um, it's like, oh yeah, and this happened, and all of a sudden my abilities ramped up,
Right.
or I became more focused, and so it's really funny and fun to realize that we all have that story
Mm-hmm.
where I always was this, and I have the stories too. I
Mm-hmm.
was this, but man, it was that one experience that made the door wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, she grew up because her dad would always kind of kept quiet, if I remember right, when it came to her mom. But
He
she
tried to
grew
be
up,
not there.
yeah. Well, she grew up when I met her, she was very reserved, a Bible thumping mom. And she came over to my house and would stay the night. So that she didn't know about kind of that other side of it. Yes, I do believe that she was always that kind of person that she had that energy that could draw this stuff in.
Mhm.
But again, as I discussed in my interview, because I lived with it all my life, I never realized that it was any different until people like Christy would come over and be like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, this is my
I,
life."
well, I
Right.
mean, my mom sheltered me from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not just like paranormal stuff, but just life stuff.
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it was,
Yeah.
you were like the coolest person that I ever met. When how do I put this? I felt so special to be your friend
Aw.
when we first got together in high school.
Yeah.
And, I
Oh,
mean,
you made me cry.
Oh, honey.
don't cry. It was
Happy
just,
tears.
You.
yeah, like I just, because my mom she didn't allow a lot of people into my life.
No, she
Mm.
did not. I don't think she liked me much after she got to know me either. So,
Well, I think, the first time you lit a cigarette, that probably changed her attitude a little bit.
yeah, yeah. She caught me. She
Yeah,
caught me. Yeah.
Yikes.
yeah,
Oops.
I would never do anything because I was always trying to hide that kind of side of me from
yeah.
everybody's. Yeah.
Well, and she wouldn't have caught you if my sister hadn't run her mouth.
Well, I know, right? We won't talk about that, but
No,
all
but
right.
Oh.
So, what else I would like to know that you had mentioned? We'll get back on track. The what'd you say? The pregnant lady or something along those lines? I've never heard.
no, wait, it's not a urban legend. It was just something that happened when I was going through a miscarriage.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So let's start from the beginning of that story,
Hmm.
Okay.
if you're okay with that.
No, I am, because like I've had time to heal from it, and
Okay.
um I've had several miscarriages in my life, and um, but this one in particular, I feel like it had to do with the house itself.
Okay.
We had, and you're going to notice a theme here. Everything that involves me and paranormal stuff somehow always involves animals. I've always had animals of some kind,
Mhm.
right? And me and my significant other at the time moved into this house in Webb City, not very far from the Webb City Library. And
Which is haunted, just to let you know, Jana.
yeah,
Oh, I
true.
got that. I figured that one out, but good
Yeah.
to know for our
My mom used to
fans.
work there. I used to play in the basement all the time. I loved it. It was
Oh,
my
that was my favorite place to go in the library, was the
right.
basement.
Loved it. It was such a comforting, scary, creepy
Yeah,
vibe.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Like it's weird to say comforting and scary at the same time, but it really was.
Right?
Interesting.
Because you're like interesting things are going on here, but I don't know what they are, but I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, so
But you
it
knew
was
it wasn't
on.
hurt you.
Do what?
You knew it wasn't going to hurt you. You felt
Yeah,
secure.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Got it.
But that was not the case at this house that we had moved into.
Uh-oh.
And cute little house. Everything looked fine on the outside, interior, It was I could give you the address, but I don't want people looking it up and then like driving by, out of
No,
weirdness.
no. Just do you know what the road? Let's just say a road, like what road it was
Ball.
on?
South Ball.
Okay.
Um, and it was on a corner block. Okay. I can't remember what the cross street was, but anyway, um, moved into the house. Everything seemed fine. Everything seemed normal. After about a month, weird things kind of started happening. Like I had two dogs. One was a little long-haired wiener dog, and the other one was a husky Rottweiler mix.
Oh,
Hi.
nice.
And Scooter, the wiener dog,
Mm-hmm.
he was always like he was pretty mellow before we moved into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Once we moved in, he started getting really skittish.
Hmm.
And like he did not want to be alone in a room ever at all.
Oh.
And he got to where he had anxiety and he would chew at the carpet and chew the walls. He ate an entire string of lights off of a Christmas tree in 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was an expensive death visit, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But Tigger, she was the Rottweiler Husky mix.
Uh-huh.
She just got super protective of me.
Okay.
And my significant other at the time, he worked nights. And once he left, that dog, I could not be touching her. She had to
Right.
have her body touching me constantly.
Hmm.
Dang.
Well, yeah, very, not normal behavior for her.
Right. Okay.
So I got pregnant. Everything seemed like it was going fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 3 months in, and lights would flip on and off.
Hmm.
And I was in cooking one night, one afternoon, and in the older houses, they have like a spice rack that has like that little shelf barrier in front of it, so the spices can't fall forward. The whole top row came and flew across the room.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me stop you there. How long have you been living in a house before you got pregnant? Do you know or remember?
About 2 months.
About 2 months. Okay. So then you got pregnant and 3 months in, so you're about 5, 6 months in to living in
Into
the
living
house.
there.
And they
Yeah.
just started, all this stuff just kind of started amping up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, um, and things would not be in the same room we left them in. Water would get turned on when no one was in the room.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and then I started having cramps and backaches. And I was like, okay, I know the signs of this. Scheduled a visit out of schedule to see my doctor. And they were like, everything seems fine. Your blood pressure's fine. The ultrasound looks fine. And, there were no visual signs that I was
Right.
miscarrying. I just knew, because I had had them before, what it felt
It
like
felt like-
before it actually, occurred.
Right.
And they were like, nope, everything looks fine, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. Maybe 3 days after that doctor's visit is when it kicked in.
Oh no.
And when the physical effects of it started happening, because I don't want to get into gory detail. You know what I
No,
mean?
you know, yeah.
Doors were slamming. I could hear voices. The closet doors in my bedroom that had a latch on them would fling open. Until it was over, until the miscarriage was finally over.
Oh.
And then it wasn't as violent of things, but or to the extreme, where they would slam.
Right.
Cupboards would still open. Instead of the water going on full blast, it would like trickle.
Okay.
And we lived there for almost a year. And after the miscarriage was done, I was like, I don't want to live in this house anymore. There's something not right.
Yeah.
And after going through that, I just needed, some peace.
Well, yeah.
I needed to be in a peaceful place. And
Wow.
our landlord would not let us out of the lease. And the only way we did finally get out of the lease is because it was during the winter, and a pipe burst somewhere.
Oh.
And we had to go out and find the like the water main
Right.
thing so they could turn it off.
And
Right.
The city wouldn't come out and look for it. And because it was everything was covered in snow and ice. And they were like, we're not going to make our guys stand out there in the cold. When you find it, you call us and let us know, and we'll come out and shut it off.
Wow.
And so my significant other and I, we spent a good part of the afternoon finding it. And then the guy wouldn't fix the damage. And so that now there's mold.
The landlord?
Yeah. The landlord wouldn't come out and fix the mold damage. He wouldn't come out and fix the flooring that got damaged from the busted pipe. And I got to talking to some people that worked for the city, and they were like, that's fine. We can condemn it with what's wrong with it now. We can condemn it.
Nice.
And so I went to him the next month and I said, here's our rent payment. I have spoken to legal aid, and you can either let us out of the lease or we will take you to court and your property will be condemned.
Yeah.
And so we got out of the lease.
Wow.
But it was, I've always had weird things happening, and like I'll hear sounds and stuff like that. But to that point where, literally doors slamming, when that whole top row of spices just flew across the kitchen.
My God. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And the next night I did sage. I went around with white sage and I saged the whole house. It did nothing.
Right.
And I'm like, this is some weird shit. So either the spirit that was there got aggravated because I got pregnant, or it was something to do with my pregnancy. I don't know which one it was, because it got, after the pregnancy was ended, it went way down. The activity did. So I don't know what that was, but I know it was not a fun time to live through.
Oh, wow.
honey.
Wow. So how long between when you wanted to move and he wouldn't let you out of the lease did the water main happen?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry, this is who I am and this is what I do. So there's a part of me that is feeling that you had a little help there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
To the universe, to the spirit, whichever one it
It
was.
was the spirit that actually now I'm being me. Now I'm being me. Janet's tapped in. Yeah, what I'm getting and just let me be me for just a second. Um, what I'm picking up is the ramping up of the energy that happened when you were pregnant wasn't necessarily a negative thing. It was something was wrong with the pregnancy and they were letting you know there was problems.
Ah,
Okay, does that make sense for you?
yeah.
Okay. Then you wanted to be out of the house. He wouldn't let you out of the house. You were fighting with the landlord, and the spirit said, I know how to fix this. And how fast did the mold happen after the water damage?
Oh, as soon as it wasn't cold anymore.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm just, everybody knows I'm psychic here. So what I'm tapping into is that's what I'm feeling happened for you. So what you thought was something happening to you is happening for you.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
It does. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, that's good.
Wow. I'm sorry that you went through that though. I mean, I do know what it's like and Stacy and I have discussed doing our own uh discussions of our own paranormal experiences and I've personally had a really hmm, intense one.
Oh, all
What a
right.
wonderful guest we have had
Yes,
today.
yes.
Thank
Thank you
Uh,
so
you.
much.
Christy, thank you so much for being on our show. This was so delightful. And we really do look forward to having another show with you. And we'll talk about the fun haunting
Yeah.
things. Yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. And
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
Oh, go ahead.
thank you so much for having me on. It was so much fun.
Thank you for joining the Parapausal podcast. We would love it if you could give us that Holy Trinity. Share, subscribe, and smash that like button. Don't forget to hit that little bell to get notified for your next dose of hot flashes and paranormal chills.